aspects of it.
Oh, and it has nothing to do at all with the fact that that country on your planet is primarily known for passion, is it? Where in Italy would you like to go first?
I really don't know. I've just seen videos of the aerial
Yes.
over it, and it's beautifully green and old. And
Yes.
yeah.
All right. So when will you go to Italy? Because you're giving yourself a sign that the vibration that you need to be in is part of the process of truly discovering yourself. Remember, when we talk about the idea of acting on your excitement, it's a whole picture. It's not just what you do, it's also where you do it. That's part of the whole picture. If you are attempting to do your excitement in a place that's not representative of your excitement, you're not doing your excitement. Yeah. So if you know that Italy is a place that represents something that is more you, then by all means, go there. And you will see that something will happen that will help you continue that journey of finding who you are. So when will you go to Italy?
I have no idea.
When will you go?
I don't know.
Do you want to go?
Yes.
Well, are you willing to allow your life to synchronistically show you that you can go?
Yes.
All right. That's a start.
That was a struggle.
Be willing to allow into your life something to come in that will show you you can easily get there. Don't put any assumptions or expectations on how people tell you are the only ways you can possibly get there. Well, you have to have this, and you have to have that, and you have to have this. There are people sitting in the room with you right now that never let anything like logic stop them. They simply allow themselves to know that they can put it out, that that's what they desire, and they then get other people to respond in a way that supports that dream. So just put it out that that's where you want to go. In all the ways that you can, share that information with people as you have done here today. Act on whatever opportunities may present themselves that carry at least some degree of, if not excitement, at least curiosity. You can start that as a form of baby excitement. Follow it, act on it, see where it leads. It will probably lead you very quickly to Italy. Don't assume you cannot get there. Because if that's what's enticing you, if that's what's calling you, the call lets you know you will get there if you simply move in the direction that presents itself. All right?
Yes.
Does that help you?
Yes.
All right. And anything else?
Is where I belong in this earth.
Do you mean the physical location again? Or your place
Yes.
as a person?
Yes.
Wherever you want. However you want. You belong or you wouldn't be.
I understand that.
But what is it that makes you sad?
I don't feel like belong anywhere.
Anywhere at all?
Right.
All right. Now, you understand, we have said that if you have the feeling that you don't belong, then you have the belief that you don't.
Yes.
Where did that belief come from? Who did it come from? Did it come from your mother? Did it come from your father?
I haven't gone into that one yet.
Perhaps
I don't know the answer.
you ought to.
Okay.
Find someone who can assist you to find out who fed you the belief that you don't belong anywhere. When you begin that journey, you will realize it's just a belief you've been fed and it's a belief you swallowed. Right. It's time to let it out.
Right.
Because it's not empirically true. Because if it was, believe me, you wouldn't be here. You couldn't be.
I understand that. But
I know you say you understand it, but what you need to do is understand it.
Right.
And so, find out where the belief comes from. If you understand that your feeling stems from a belief, find out where the belief came from so that you can deal with it. All right?
Yes.
I'm not saying it will be easy, but begin that journey. And more quickly than you can possibly imagine, you may find yourself standing on the shores of Italy.
Okay.
All right?
Yes.
In all ways, both literal and metaphorical, because that's where you belong. All right?
Thank you.
And again, remember, you're not alone. There are many who are helping you, whether you know it or not. So, find out. All right?
Thank you.
Begin your journey this way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And a good day.
Thank you so much for sharing your information with us.
And thank you as well.
What message which comes from diagram
Which
was
diagram?
that's 12 circles was like a spiral.
You mean the 19 circle?
Oh, 19 circles,
All
yeah,
right.
in spiral.
Yes.
That I signed contract which I will experience in my presence on earth, that I'm not going to be loved.
No.
No?
No. Not this life. Those contracts have expired in the cycle of human experience. You have signed a contract that may make you go through the experience of believing that you're not going to be loved, but the contract is not written so that you actually won't be loved. Only that you will go through the experience of doubting that you will.
Oh, I see.
Oh, good.
But thanks. But what comes to me that, anyways, if I just go through experience or I sign contract, that I attract to myself situation in my life
Yes.
that prove to me that I'm not loved, even though I know
All right.
for I love.
But again, proof is subjective and you create the proof.
Right.
So you're just reinforcing the idea of going through the experience of proving to yourself that you will not be loved, but that's not true. You have to look beyond the illusion you are creating for yourself. You must shift your gears and go from the illusion of power and shift to the power of the illusion.
Do
You
have
are
any-
finding yourself lost in the illusion of power. You are believing that the reality is real. It's not. You must use the power of the illusion by knowing it's only as real as you believe it to be. So what you're going through in creating proof that you are not loved can easily be, once again, contradicted by the fact that you exist. Because if you really were not loved on any level whatsoever, you wouldn't exist. The universe would not support you. You couldn't exist. Now, through the idea of the experience of what you might call the expression of human love,
Yes.
you will go through the idea of doubting that it can be possible for you. But that's the experience you're going through, is doubting that it can be possible. And because you doubt it, you will create proof that it's not possible, because every belief system is self-reinforcing. Otherwise, you couldn't experience it as a reality. If your beliefs were not self-reinforcing and self-perpetuating, you would not be able to have any particular experience in physical reality. So if you create the belief that it's not possible for you to be loved, you have to understand that within that belief, a component of the mechanism of that belief will be the proof that you're right. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to really fully experience what you have created. But you have created it. It's not real. Once you understand that, you will move out of it. And you will see that, of course, you can be loved and will be loved in this life. But your journey is to prove that to yourself. Just
Right.
as you are proving that you can't be loved. You
Right.
must now understand that if you can prove you can't be loved, you can just as easily prove that you can.
Yes, you're right, because my guides, they keep saying me that I can express myself just through unconditional love and
Yes.
spread it all over me and
Yes.
just express it to
Yes.
the world.
And again, the paradox is you don't do that in order to get someone else to reflect it back to you. You do it because that's who you are. And when
Right.
you do it because that's who you are, others will not be able to help but reflect it back to you. But don't do it to get the reflection. Do it because that's just who you are. And you have no other choice but to be that you. That's a critical secret. The point of the idea of desire and what you choose is that you choose to be these people because you have no other choice. You must be that person. There is no other choice. So, you decide. Be the person who absolutely has the brilliance and the capacity to absolutely prove you cannot be loved, or choose to be the person who knows beyond a shadow of a doubt you can prove just as easily that you can be loved.
Right.
It's up to you. There is no reality other than what you believe it to be. Mm-hmm. There is nothing outside you. There is no outside. Nothing is happening to you. It can't. It can only happen through you, because you are all there is in your reality.
But
what?
what's interesting that this thought just came to me
Yes.
during this meditation,
Yes.
and I've never thought about it before. So
Good. That means it's working. It means it's bringing up issues. It means it's putting you in touch with belief systems that you can change. So very good. You've used the tool well. It's put you in touch with something you need to deal with.
Oh,
So
I see.
congratulations. Now you can deal with it. But when it comes up, don't apply the old belief system and say, oh, now that belief system that I don't prefer has come up, I'm stuck with it. No, apply the tools again and recognize it's just a belief system, and you can use the same tools that brought it to your attention to change it.
Right.
Because that's all it is, a belief.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. So.
Why, thank you. Does that help you?
Yes, thank you so much.
Well,
I have a
yes.
short question.
Yes.
Can you comment raising kids and behaving in a family between parents and especially teenagers?
Well, that's quite a comprehensive subject on your planet. The idea that we will simply say in general, of course, is to understand that what you typically call adults on your planet actually are still children for the most part. And therefore they are raising children and not really capable of showing them what adults should actually act like. So what do you expect? But to simply perpetuate more children who themselves don't know how to actually raise children into adulthood.
So just let them be themselves?
No, not let them be themselves in a chaotic way. Teach them who they really are so they can then be their true selves. Do you understand the difference?
But if we don't know who we are,
But
how
you can learn to. Raise yourself, then you can raise the children.
Right.
You understand? I'm just giving you a broad overview because it's a very deep subject that right now in your time frame we don't have time to go deeply into. But generally speaking, you must raise yourself so you can truly raise children into adulthood. But you have to bring yourselves up. One of the strong ways you could do this, if you have any recognition at all, is to recognize that the idea is to nurture what the child's natural talents are in a number of given ways and let them interact and participate in the idea of how to express their talent rather than attempting to push them and mold them into a box. To teach them, let them teach you how they would actually learn best by calling upon what excites them and formulating the things you think they need to learn in terms they're excited to interact with. So you're speaking their language as a person. Don't force them to learn a language they don't understand. Teach them what you want to teach them in a language they do understand, which means a style of approach that represents how they express their excitement in life and convert all the things you think it's important for them to understand into those terms so they will be excited about learning those things, because once you convert it into their terms, they can relate to it and see how it applies in terms of living a loving, fulfilling life. Does that make sense?
Yes. So if for some reason I don't like the behavior or how my kid is acting,
Yes.
I have to just
Engage them
Right.
in a conversation and allow them to explain the reasons why. Help them learn how to get in touch with the reasons why they are choosing that behavior. Because when you allow them to tell you, when you help them get in touch with the reasons why they are displaying that behavior, they will be able to explain to you why they made that choice. And you can discuss with them the concept of choices and consequences and let them understand that you treat them as an intelligent being that learns the difference and understands the concept that there are consequences to choices, and let them understand they don't have to make choices that society says they have to make, that they can learn how to expand beyond society's definitions to make choices that will truly allow them to express who they are in life. And they can live fully by doing so. But it will take perhaps learning on both of your parts. You may have to raise each other.
Thank you so much.
Does that help you?
Yes, it does.
Well, we love you. So thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Bashar, I
Yes?
have been taking photographs of orbs for the last year.
Orbs, yes.
Yes, and I'd like to gain more insight and clarity from you about who
Oh,
they
all right.
are, why they're here.
Well,
what
there
is the
are a
message.
variety of reasons. Generally speaking, you might call them nodes of consciousness. Some of them can be manipulated and utilized almost in the sense of probes to gather information. Do you understand?
Can you say more?
It is a manipulation of the idea of certain kinds of electromagnetic energies pitched at certain frequencies, so it can be remotely manipulated to gather intelligence and information about certain scenarios on your planet. Sometimes you will be sensitive to seeing them with your physical eyes. Sometimes only your camera equipment will be capable of actually registering them at that frequency. But they are manipulations of electromagnetic energy consciousness at a certain pitch, in a certain pattern, that allows them to remotely gather and send vibrational information. That is one way what you are experiencing is expressed. There are other ways as well that are similar to what I'm saying, but they're actually more self-directed rather than being directed remotely by others. In that sense, they are actually manifestations to some degree of intelligences outside your dimensionality that are capable of manifesting a part of their consciousness in your dimension through their focus and interest in your dimension. So they are still gathering information and learning and exploring, but they themselves, those orbs are themselves a representation of an actual intelligence rather than simply being remotely used by an intelligence. But the manifestation is similar as an interface between one dimension and another. Does that make sense?
It's starting to make sense. And so I'm wondering, are part of these orbs, could they be my guides? Can you show up as an orb in a camera?
I can and I have.
Okay.
Yes.
Are my guides? My understanding is that
Sometimes.
some of my guides are showing up.
Sometimes, yes.
Okay. And I'm noticing that they do show up more when there are a lot of people and when there's an energy of joy
Yes.
in the room. I'm noticing
Well,
that
that
pattern.
vibration is more conducive to the interdimensional interface becoming more crystallized in a way that you can perceive it. Because the more you match the frequency of the dimension that they may be coming from, the more you will be able to perceive the manifestation from that dimension. You're matching their frequency. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right,
And
and
so I'm wondering if there's any way I can use them to serve me, to serve the planet. How can I
well,
be
ask
working?
them.
Okay.
Ask them
Okay.
and see what you get.
Okay.
You can apply that question to the tools we have also shared with you today. When you use the spiral and go into the center, you can ask the question and see what you get, and then pay attention to your dreams as well and the synchronicities in your life. Very often, please understand, all of you, when you ask questions of guides and other beings that might have connections to spirit dimensions or other frequency dimensions or domains, very often the answers you get will actually play out more likely in the synchronicities that occur in your life than in an actual voice in your head. Because the things that are going on in your reality, the props that are already in your reality, are already in front of you. They're already, shall we say, commanding your attention. So it's easier to deliver a message using the props that are already in front of your face than it is to divert your attention to something and some methodology that you're not used to getting. I'm not saying it can't happen, but the easier way often to deliver a message is when you're not really paying attention or looking for it, and just let the things in your life, in a sense, carry the information to you from the other dimension. It's easier to get your attention that way. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Does that help you?
Yes, thank you. Just
Yes.
one more tweak.
Oh, tweak.
Yes.
All right.
The orbs show up on my camera all the time. They've started showing up for my mom, but I have other friends who have the exact same camera and they're not showing up on theirs. So
Yes.
how does...
Well, again, it has to do with frequency and vibration. I'm not saying every camera has the capability. It has to do also with the receptivity of the vibrational state you create in that encounter. Because remember, you and the camera are also moving into that state. Does that make sense?
Yes.
The camera is an extension of your senses. And if you are more synchronized or harmonized with the intelligence coming through from the other dimension, then you will take yourself and everything with you closer to that vibration. It will be easier in that sense to record that encounter. Do you follow?
Yes, thank you, Bashar.
Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Last night I had an encounter with an extraterrestrial who,
In what way?
when they spoke to me, they were actually singing in a very joyful manner, and I was feeling intense vibration.
Singing.
And what they said was, repeated several times, was Solo Han, and then said planet, and I kind of, in my mind, said contact, and they said yes, and then it was over.
All right.
So
They were using an archetypal symbol that you are used to in your reality that they knew would be easier to reach you through. You understand the name they gave you as it is represented in your science fiction mythology?
what I found with quick research was, I know what Solo meant. Han was a almost extinct language from the...
It has double meaning, but Han Solo is a character in your Star Wars mythology.
Yes.
And so they knew that because your mind was attuned to that, it would be easier to get you to recognize the transmission and what they were by using an archetype that you would identify with that kind of reality, as well as the other meanings that it has. These messages are never delivered with a single meaning. It's always multidimensional. So, Han Solo is representative of the character to get your attention on a certain level. Han also being representative of the multilingual idea, which represents multidimensionality, multi-intelligences, multi-expressions. And contact, meaning, yes, you are actually in contact with an intelligence, and we're, in that sense, able to let you know that by being able to activate the portions of your mind and your memories and your archetypal understandings that are tuned to our frequency more easily. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
It's simply like knowing what channel, what frequency your radio operates on and making sure that the message is sent on the same frequency. They stimulate those portions of your archetypal energy that will be able to perceive that they have been stimulated, that a message has been sent. Make sense?
Yes.
So, how did that feel?
Very amazing.
Oh, more amazing. Yes. Does that help you?
Yes, it does. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, at this time, we would like to take you through one short, final journey with regard to this information. So everyone become comfortable. Close your eyes if you wish. Take a deep breath in and let it out. Take a deep breath in and let it out. Take a deep breath in. Hold it. Don't let it out. Don't let it out. Don't let it out. Now let it out. All right. Now, when I say the following words, one at a time, with each utterance, with each word, just let yourself and your imagination associate whatever feelings, sounds, colors, people, situations, ideas you wish. Just see what comes up for you. Whatever comes up for you, vibrationally, feeling-wise, picture-wise, when each of these words are said, will begin to give you a clue as to what belief systems you may hold in your core to be true, and will give you some material to work on. So, one at a time, just pay attention to what you get with the following words. Desire. Just let yourself observe the full spectrum of all your responses and reactions to the word desire. See what comes up. Desire. Desire. Take a deep breath in and let it out. Definition. 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 Take a deep breath in and let it out. Dedication. 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 Take a deep breath in and let it out. Detachment. 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 Take a deep breath in and let it out. As part of the overall tools, with everything else we have said this day of your time, when you are in the appropriate, creative, playful place to do so, in whatever way you wish, write these 4 words down and display them in your home or wherever you wish to remind you of your desire to define your dedication to detachment. No expectation, but allowance, allowance, allowance. Have fun with these exercises. The more fun you have with them, the faster they will expand. And the more you will recognize how much fun you deserve to have. Our unconditional love to you all. Good day.